I'm about to show you guys the best settings for Fortnite on any platform, console, PC, mobile, Switch, whatever you play on. And these are going to help you get better FPS, better graphics, better ping, and you're just going to be overall better at the game. So make sure to stick around to the end because I have some amazing tips that many of you guys probably don't know about. Before the video starts, I want to announce that I'm going to be doing a face reveal at 100 supporters on Code Panda. So if you guys want my face reveal, make sure to use my code, #ad, and of course have noties on so if I do post a face reveal video, you can be the first to see it. Anyways, if the video helps you out, make sure to drop a like and a comment, and I'll see you guys in the video. Alright, y'all, so we're going to get right into the settings. Of course, the best setting to have on is code REDPANDA, REDPANDA in the shop. I'm just kidding. You guys don't have to use my code, but if you do want to support me, you can go ahead and use it. It does help me out a lot. But anyways, the first actual setting is, my recommendation would be to use a simple skin, so something that doesn't have a lot of animation or like a lot of colors. So this skin, it's alright because it's like a slimmer model, but I would say use something more like, if you go to my favorites, like something more like this or this, something that's simple, doesn't have a lot of colors. It's more like a slimmer model. So yeah, definitely do that because the more colors, the more animation, the bigger your skin is, the more it's going to affect your performance. And then same thing with everything else. So like use more of like a simple pickaxe. I personally like to use driver or icebreaker, star wand, something like that. And then yeah, same thing with everything else. I don't even have a back bling or shoes or anything like that. And then we'll get into the actual like settings themselves now. So I use windowed full screen. It gives you the best performance. This is gonna lock in your resolution. I don't use VSync. I use 160 FPS because I have a 144 Hz monitor. If your PC can handle it, I recommend going like one above whatever your monitor hertz is. So since I have 144, I do 160. And then I of course use performance mode. If you guys really don't like the graphics in performance mode, you can use DirectX 12. DirectX 12 is going to be a lot worse in terms of performance, but it does look nicer. So whichever one you prefer. I personally prefer performance, and if you do want to be like a better player, like a competitive player, I would recommend performance. And before I go into the rest of the settings, I do want to mention that, like, as you guys noticed, I am on PC, but these settings apply to PC, console, Switch, mobile. I've played on everything. I play keyboard and mouse and controller, so I have good settings for everything. I played the game for years, so yeah, there's settings for everyone here, so make sure to stick around if you guys want to see my controller settings or my keyboard or whatever. But yeah, anyways, brightness 100, 1x, off, 0, on, 100% 3D resolution, off, far, high, and then I prefer low meshes. It does make better performance. I understand it's kind of ugly sometimes, but I think it's a good trade-off. I'd say have show FPS on only if you're on PC. If you're on console or Switch or something like that, turn it off. And then I disabled performance runtime stats or whatever this. Audio, there's honestly not a lot that's important here except for sound. So you want to have high sound quality. You want to use your 3D headphones. No background audio. No subtitles. Or, well, this is how you want your subtitles to look. Everything's going to be to the left. And then visualize sound effects is going to be on. Audio input device is going to be whatever. And yeah. Off. Well, this is just voice chat. Honestly, this is all your preference. I'd say have this off though, so you don't get banned. And then, yeah. I don't even know why I have text chat on. I don't ever use text chat. Sorry about that. Okay, now for like the actual game settings. Obviously, your region and your language depends on where you live. On. Actually, I've never seen this setting. Hold on. Yeah, I'd say have this on. On, hold jump, and press jump. So everything here is going to be to the right. And I might go through these kind of fast. If you guys have to, you might want to put the video in like 0.5 speed. You might just have to pause a lot, so I'm sorry. But I'm going to go through these next settings kind of fast. So I'd say on, off, on, off, on. And then obviously, this is how I have my preferred item slots. I like my shotgun in the middle, surrounded by the AR and the SMG. I know some people do it different. If you guys, honestly, just use whatever you've been using for like the longest time, you know. But I do recommend at least using some type of preferred item slots. And then auto sort to right on. I personally don't use simple edits, and I also disable my pre-edits. I disabled the disable pre-edits, so I do have pre-edits on because honestly it makes your edits faster in my opinion. And you know, you just gotta learn not to accidentally pre-edit. I used to pre-edit a lot, and then I turned it on and I turned it off, and I don't know, I just kind of got used to the timing. So I recommend having it off. It makes you a better player overall, and sometimes pre-edits can be useful. I have auto confirm on both, and then everything here is gonna be off except for this. Make sure to have the maximum FOV on. Honestly, these do not matter at all. Off. Definitely have replays off unless you like actually have to record something. But like, replays make your game very, very laggy. And yeah. Now for all this game UI, everything's gonna be on. Damage numbers are gonna be cumulative. Hit only 85, 75. You want to have a smaller number scale and HUD scale, and then everything here is gonna be on, off. Okay, I don't use any like gyro settings, but if you guys do want to see my tutorial on gyro, I made a video on it back in 2022. It's still valid to this day, so if you guys want to go check that out, you know, make sure you go check it out. Obviously, go check out all the other videos on my channels because I have some good like settings tutorials, montages, stuff like that. If you guys are interested, and of course, make sure to subscribe. But yeah, we'll get into the mouse sensitivity. I do use, I'd say it's pretty average. I'd say the average is around 5, so I use 5.5%. 50%, 100%, 100, 105. I'm not a big fan of changing these just because I'm so used to my like old sensitivities, but I do understand why people would have this on. I have 100% first person mode because I don't really play first person, and then I use legacy. Off. If you guys only play keyboard, have these on. If you guys play controller, have these off, and then off, on, 100, off, on. Then here are my binds. I use Q for wall, C for floor, F for stairs, V for roof. I use G for edit, and then I use scroll wheel. And then I'm just gonna scroll through these like really fast. You guys might have to slow it down. Most of these things are very unimportant. I'm sorry if kind of speeding through them. I don't even know if y'all be able to see them. But yeah, those settings are basically just default, so I don't really go through them. Alright, now for controller settings, on, 0.1, 0.1, 0.15, both, 0.1, off, and then make sure you have on advanced options, use custom, 0, slot 2, off, both, 2.0, 1.9, 1.0, 36, 36, 0, 0, 0, 8, 8, 0, 0, 0, anything that says boost, have at 0, make sure it's exactly at 0, can't be even at 0.1 or nothing, 1.0, 0, linear, and then yeah, there's the rest of that. And then I will scroll through my controller binds. I'm sorry if you guys are on Xbox, you might have to like convert it. I'll go through these kind of slow so you can kind of see what button it is, but I use L stick edit, ZL for confirm edit. I do use Builder Pro, and I mean that's pretty much the most important things. But yeah, that's about it. And then the last thing I am going to say is if you guys want to learn how to make your own Fortnite montages using Post Party, I made a video on that on my channel. It's a couple years old, but it's still the same. You know, they haven't changed the software. So, yeah, make sure to go check that out. If you guys enjoyed, if you did, make sure to subscribe, like, comment down below your favorite Fortnite skin or something, and peace out.